I'm Andrew. I'm the man that brought his brother, Simon Peter, to the Lord. Now, I don't have a lot of talents or a lot of skills, but the things that I have, I use toward the Lord's Word. The others, they call me Andrew the Bringer, because it seems like I'm always bringing someone to the Lord. I told you about the time that I brought my brother, Simon Peter, to Jesus. And I'm thrilled day after day watching how he has come closer and closer to Jesus. There was a time, there was a little boy, we called the little lad. He brought his small lunch. He had 5 loaves and 2 fish. And Jesus multiplied it and fed 5,000 men, plus women and children. And oh yes, there was a time about the Greeks. They came to me, and I immediately brought them to the Master. The Lord must have seen something really special about me, because he chose me to be one of his disciples. Others didn't see that, but he chose me. And I've been thrilled to serve him day after day. Now, I'm not one of the inner circle like my brother, Simon Peter, but I'm not one of the outer circles either. And now the Lord has said somebody is going to deny him. And I can't imagine. I'm a fisherman, and it's such a privilege and honor to be one of Christ's apostles. But I must wonder to myself, Lord, is it I, Andrew, the bringer?
The others, they're all from Galilee. I'm from the village of Corinth in Judea. Here, I am known as Judas of Corinth, or Judas Iscariot. The others must have had confidence in me as they elected me their treasurer. Jesus must have believed in me as he chose me as one of the 12. So what if I've appropriated these funds for my own personal use? I know that Jesus' words about love of money and greed were directed at me. Of course, I complained when Mary washed his feet with the expensive ointments and perfume. As I think about it now, I still think it was a waste of money. And if I've conspired with chief priests, and if I have 30 pieces of silver on my person, it's my affair. I believe in Jesus. But somebody has to make him assert himself as God's Messiah. He won't make a move. I've made one. He hints that he knows what I've done. He said so a few moments ago when he washed my feet. What would you do if you were in my place? My heart, it's not as black. My soul isn't as black as some think it is. And neither is yours as white. I've got my reasons. What would you do if you were in my place and you wanted him to do something dramatic to usher in his kingdom? What would you do if you were in his place? Should I ignore his remark? Or like the others, piously and self-righteously ask, Master, is it I?
My name is Philip. I come from Bethany in Galilee. While all my friends and I were listening to John the Baptist, Jesus called us to become his disciples, and we all turned and followed him. I remember so well, before he fed the 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish, asking him and others, Where are we to buy bread that all these may eat? Little did I know that Andrew was already bringing a young lad and his lunch to Jesus. And when the Greeks came and asked me for an interview with the Master, I turned them over to Andrew, who brought them to Jesus. When Jesus began to tell us that God was our Heavenly Father, it was almost beyond my understanding. But as I listened to the Master, I have begun to understand his words. In fact, I can almost say that he who has seen Jesus has seen the Father. And anything I would want to find in Jesus, I find in the Father. And now, having seen the Father through him, he shocks us and tells us there's a betrayer in our midst. Does the traitor not know that in betraying Jesus, he's also betraying God? That in conspiring against Jesus, he is conspiring against God? Can one of our number be so blind? Who could it be? Could it be me? Lord, is it I?
I am Thaddeus. I'm one of the disciples that Jesus chose to be an apostle. You see, he chose 12 of us to be the cornerstones of the new kingdom. Just like the 12 tribes of Israel were the cornerstones of the old Jewish nation. Okay, honestly, deep inside of myself, I do not feel worthy to be numbered with one of the apostles. But see, I didn't seek the position. I didn't ask for it. Jesus selected me. I well remember that day. Once after a long night in prayer, Jesus called us unto him. And he gave us authority over every evil spirit and the strength and the power to heal every disease and every infirmity. Then he gave us the Great Commission to go and preach. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. As he was preparing us for this mission to spread this message, he told us, be wise as serpents, but gentle as doves. Because he was sending us out as sheep in the midst of wolves. He also told us it is enough for the disciple to be as the teacher and the servant as the master. I was in Jerusalem when he gave us that great invitation. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And now, Jesus, the Son of God, the one that came here to share men's burdens, has had this burden thrust upon himself. That burden is the knowledge that one of us, the closest to him, will betray him. Now I could understand if it was one of you evil Gentiles who were going to do an evil act upon him, but one of us, who would be a traitor here amongst us? Would it be the man that is least expected? Could it be Peter or Philip? Could it be John or Judas? Oh no, no. Or could it be me, myself? Lord, is it I?
I'm Thomas. Thomas Didymus, which means twin. Some call me Thomas the Doubter. My life is not a life of gloom and despondency, but I do demand proof before I believe. I'd like to see something before I commit to it. I am not a man of doubt. Rather, I'm a man of daring. For instance, when Mary and Martha sent word that their brother Lazarus had died, Jesus turned to us and said, "Let us go up to him." Well, we all knew of the rising opposition in the area, and the rest of the disciples, well, they kind of shrank back from this suggestion. But I rebuked them. I said, "Let us go up with him, that we may die with him." I wonder why it is that they remember my doubts, yet they forget my daring. And they remember my questions, but they overlook my affirmation. They remember my fear, but they forget my faith. I remember those early years of ministry. In fact, the first year of Jesus' public ministry, his Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes, how beautiful they were. I remember sailing on a boat with the other disciples, the winds and the waves tossing the boat, and then Jesus' words of authority, "Peace, be still." I can just see it now. I can also see the side of Jesus where he's healing the sick, opening the eyes to the blind, unstopping the deaf ears, cleansing leprosy, preaching the gospel to the poor. And yet, we're now told that there's opposition mounting, and that there is a determination to destroy Jesus. Those that raise that opposition would make God their servants rather than we the servants of God. But as Jesus has just said, someone, one of us, is going to betray him. I just can't fathom that. And then I wonder, is he thinking about me? I wonder, is it I? Lord, is it I?
After Jesus called Peter and Andrew to follow him, he came to me and my brother James. We were mending our nets with our father Zebedee, and he told us to follow him. We answered his request, leaving our boat and our father behind. Sometimes I think that Jesus is more like God than any human who will ever live on this earth. But I still try to understand him by loving him like I would love a friend. We have shared trials and triumphs. I was one of the ones on the Mount of Transfiguration when we beheld his glory. Since he numbers us with his close, intimate inner circle, Peter and I have more responsibilities than some of the others. We are the ones that made the arrangements for this celebration of Passover here in the upper room. And it was to me that he told about his talk with Nicodemus when he said, these wonderful words. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. Someday I want to write down these and all his other wonderful words. But I hear that one of us is a betrayer. Who could it be? Surely it's not me, or my brother, or Peter, or Andrew, or any of these others. Or could it? Could it be me? Lord, is it I?
I am Simon the Zealot. I would love nothing better than to run a Roman through with my knife. We wanted to make Israel just as it was in the days of David and Solomon.